Hey, welcome to Steve Davis Show. Special guest today is Brandon Back, head football coach at Lackawanna High School. And Brandon, thanks for coming on. Busy. Hey, this year's is going by quick right now.
Yeah, it seems to be going by really quick. It's one of those things where you blink and the whole season kind of misses you and goes by pretty fast. So it's been a wild season and a wild ride, but it's been exciting for us the last few weeks.
Well, I tell you, you had a game against Rio Rancho, and it kind of like you've been under the radar, and then all of a sudden, you've lost one game, and the season, there's two more games left in the season. You're 7-1, and I know that game when you played Rio Rancho, you were very you were depleted. You had a lot of people that were injured, and since then you've gotten some of your players back, and all of a sudden your offense starting to click, and it seems like your team is getting a lot more confidence right now.
Well, in week two, we don't shy away from the fact that we just flat out got our butt kicked. I think we told the kids and we told the community that if we're going to learn from this and be better from it, we're going to have to take ownership in it. And we just flat out got outcoached and outplayed in that game, whether we had athletes or not. It just came down to the fact that Rio Rancho was better that night, and they did everything they needed to do, and it went really well for them and went really poorly for us. And we accept that, and we accept our faults and our failures in that situation. It was a great learning opportunity, and we just tried to make ourselves better and try to have the right response. That's one of the things we talked about in that loss, is making sure we had the right response. And I felt like our kids responded really well to that adversity, and we stepped up in a big way. And, going into the season, we knew our offense was going to be young. We had a lot of talented players, but we're really young on that side of the ball. So they had to grow up kind of fast. And the front end of our schedule didn't allow us to kind of grow up. And, we had to just get after it from week one. And, we played four of the toughest teams in the state right out the gate, and we knew this was going to be a trial by fire kind of situation. We leaned heavily on defense like we've always done here, and our defense is kind of senior led. It's very upperclassmen driven. And so we knew that our defense was going to have to play well. When our defense plays well, we're going to have a good game, and it allows our offense the opportunity to get better and learn each week. And they've done that. Aiden Armenta is just one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback, in my opinion, in the state. He works hard. He knows his routes. He knows his reads. And he's got a crew of receivers around him and running backs that also can just make big plays when we need it. So it's been a fun time to grow and watch these kids get better each week. And we'll try to close the next couple of weeks out and try to finish this with the district championship as we get ready for the playoffs.
Well, I know you take each game each game per week. You got Mazzano coming up, but going back, I mean, myself, I've been watching. I watch all the games, and I just see. I can see. You said you had young players and everything, but maturity. You're seeing. The players are taking ownership. You have players that are becoming an extension of you, and they're making. They're making those timely catches. They're making those timely plays with those big plays, momentum plays, game breakers, and what's happening is you're doing it every week now. And it's like it's not uncommon to see, an 80-yard, 75, 50-yard play for a touchdown, and it seems like it's like the dagger going into a team's back. They maybe be making a comeback or coming back at you, but then all of a sudden you make that big play, you can just see the energy of the opposing team just flatten out. But one thing with maturity is they want more. They come right back. Your team comes right back and wants to put more points on the scoreboard. Your defense tightens up, and that's got to be very rewarding as a coach.
Yeah, definitely. If you look at all the analytics in football these days, I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 90%. If you can hold a team to no explosive plays or one explosive play, which is 30 yards or more, or you can have an explosive play or more than one explosive play in a game, you got like a 90% chance of winning that game. So the days of 3 yards in a cloud of dust are kind of over, and we just try to do our best to put our kids in a situation where they can make those big explosive plays and give our athletes the ball in space. And we're blessed to have great athletes in a lot of different positions. A lot of teams will look at Exodus Ayers and Ian Sanchez and things like that, but they often leave guys like Bama and some of our other receivers and our great running backs crew unguarded. Our one-on-one situations, we're able to take advantage of those and make big plays. And it definitely, football's a momentum game, and you get that momentum rolling early, you get an opportunity to get guys in the end zone and things like that. It's been such a blessing to watch these kids grow each and every week.
Well, the other thing is they're not trying to make a big play every play. I mean, and that's called, patience. In basketball, I use the word patience, but they they let the opportunity come to them. They let the defense dictate to them when that big play is going to happen, and they're not trying to force the play. And like I said, they're not they're playing with confidence, so much confidence. You just know watching the games, and like I said, watching pro. I don't go to the games on the field, but I stay at home and watch all the games play by play all the way up until the game is over. It's just amazing how that what I see from your team, especially seeing what you overcame from the Rio Rancho game. I mean, that was like a lot of people just gave up on La Cueva, and all of a sudden, I mean, you got one loss. There's only two other teams that are undefeated. That's Rio Rancho and Cleveland. And like I said, your coaching staff, you guys work hard. It's got to be a pleasure to see these young men. You've already said that, to see them grow.
Well, yeah, what makes me a good coach is having good coaches around me. There's no doubt about that. The success we have is really on the backs of our coordinators and our coaching staff and the kids that we're blessed to have in this program. We have a lot of talent from top to bottom. We have a lot of talent coming up, from the freshman and sophomore level as well. So it's a blessing to be part of this community and to be in an environment where the expectation is great and the expectation is high, puts a lot of emphasis on trying to do things right in every situation. And so that's why it's difficult to coach here sometimes, but it's a blessing because it's expected of you, and that you got a lot of great kids and great coaches around you to help pull through those situations. But we still got two weeks ahead of us, and it's teams that I don't care what people say, any team can be beat any day of the week, and so we constantly talk to them about being a champion in every moment and every opportunity and every play, not just against the opponent you're facing that week. So making sure that Monday through Wednesday are very difficult days of practice, so that Friday rolls around and it's a good day, and that should be your easiest day of the week. And so our kids have really taken a hold of that. Our practices have been really great. And, we practice in the morning, so we get these kids up 5:30 in the morning, and they're here on the field by 6. So to get up and to have that dedication to be here every day like that just shows the kind of commitment that our kids have, and we're just excited about them as they get ready to end the district season.
Well, I tell you, you look at this season. I mean, when the season has been going, everybody's, I'll just be candid. Everybody's saying it's just going to be Rio Rancho, Cleveland, and maybe that's a positive for you because nobody's paying attention to La Cueva. I was starting to look at it, and I just looked at what y'all have done. I'm going, this, and like you said, you played a tough schedule those first 4 games. Now you're just starting to see your guys develop, and I think the biggest word is they're playing with a lot of confidence, both in the offense and the defense. A little bit in the beginning of the year, we had some players, your offensive weapons were hurt, and it kind of showed a little bit. But now, I mean, your guys are all going on a whole team to be reckoned with right now.
Yeah, not too many people overlook the Bears, and whether we're in the conversation with Rio Rancho and Cleveland, that's a fair argument, and we got our butt handed to us in week 2, and so I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there predicting who's going to be where and whatnot. But, those are things that we don't focus on. We'll leave predictions up to the people who don't get to cross the white line, and we'll just leave the game up to those 11 that we put out there. And we're blessed to have a talented 11, and we're looking forward to the postseason and where we get seated and things like that.
Well, you got Manzano coming up this week, and the team that I mean, like you said, you got to be prepared for them. I mean, it's district time. It's I think every team in your district is a rival game. I mean, I know most people think it's El Dorado, but there's Sandy and there's Manzano, and Manzano's a team that's you can't overlook.
Yeah, everybody gives us their best shot. That's one of the things I learned early, not only just coaching against La Cueva when I was at another high school, but being here as well. We're going to get everybody's best shot, and beating us can fix a lot of team seasons. And so we know that going into that. And Coach Johnson is a new coach out at Manzano, but he came from Artesia where they have a lot of winning ways, and he's trying to establish those there. And so we're going to expect a battle like we've had these last few games, and we're going to expect their best shot coming out of the gate. And we're going to do what we've always done. We're going to lean heavily on our defense to make plays and keep them out of the end zone and let our playmakers make some exciting plays on the offensive side of the ball. But, after Monsanto, we got Albuquerque High, and Albuquerque High has got some of the biggest kids I've seen in the entire city. Man, they got their offensive line is massive, and they got a running back who's pretty good and a quarterback who's pretty good. So each of these weeks will be a unique week and a different challenge for us, but we'll do our best to be prepared and ready to get after it when Friday night rolls around.
I'll tell you what, we're going to go to the Dream Style Top 10 Plays a Week, come back and talk more about the Pava football.
Keon Rayner. There's a kick by Rayner being taken by one of the Sandy Up men at the 50. We're already in the Bulldog territory. I think that's Levi Lovato still on his feet. Lovato still on his feet down the right sideline. He might take it to the house. He's got a block, tries to cut it back, still on his feet. Taking Bulldog tacklers inside the 5-yard line down to the 4.
We got time
Levi Lovato would return. Kick towards the box. Headed in, and it's a goal for St. Pius.
I look for him to have a great game.
Chavez rolling to his left. He sends him down the line. Can he get it to him? Yes! The people's champion, Nathan Lopez, makes the catch.
And
Martinez, yes. That is the 5th kill of the night for the freshman, Jasmine Martinez.
Steele just gets it over Sandoval. Kalajic throws it down.
Daniel Benham had to come in on a substitution as the official ordered. Weissong rolling to his right. He's so quick. He throws on the move, and it is caught. Touchdown. What a bomb from Weissong to Nick Trujillo.
You paid for the whole sofa, but you're only going to need the edge. Because it's the kid down the street, there's no contract disputes. It's just football. Gerardo goes immediately for the end zone, and he finds it. Caden Valdez, that's a 30-yard touchdown. And just like that, Volcano Vista is on the board.
Three goals here in the second half led to her Chargers being ahead. And there's a goal! Flipped up, and Volcano Vista responds immediately. I think that's Maya Marquez.
healthy, they have to stay healthy.
Weissong gonna keep it. Another big run for Weissong. See you later. They're not going to run him down. 3rd rushing touchdown of the night for Evan Weissong.
There is the whistle. Chargers steal this one away to start. Fed inside. Kara Anderson will try and hop on top of it, and that's it! That's the game! The Hawks put away a goal to end this one in the first 16 seconds. Trying to get...
Hey, welcome back. Steve Davis Show. Got Brandon back. Head football coach at Lefebvre High School. Right now, currently lost 1 game, won 7 games, 2 games left. Big game Friday. Is it Friday or Thursday this week?
It's Friday night.
Friday night. And I tell you, it's just amazing. I always say this to my crew and everything else. It's amazing. The season is almost over. I mean, it seemed like it just started last week. But I really want to talk about, the fans in the stands. I mean, it just seemed like this year more and more people have really gotten involved with high school athletics. Just not with La Cueva, but all schools across the state. It just seems like, Friday night lights or Thursday night, big attendance for everybody.
Yeah, I think everybody was excited to get back into some normalcy. I think that's one of the great things about high school athletics. It brings an element of community that you don't often see in some of the other sports, and so that's what high school athletics provides for these communities, and just the opportunity to come out there and watch kids in your neighborhood and watch these kids play every week. And I know that everybody was just excited to do something that felt normal, and I feel like fall sports was the first normal thing we got to do, and so that's been exciting for everybody. And it didn't matter what the sport is, soccer and even cross country meets and football. It's just been fun to watch the communities come out behind these kids and rally behind them and just do some normal things. And I know it's kind of therapeutic for everybody. I know it's great for us to turn around and see the great student fan base and the parents and the band and all those aspects of the game really play a big role on Friday nights. And it's exciting to watch that across the city and the state.
Well, I tell you, you just said it very well. It's all sports, and it's just not football. You go to a volleyball game, and there's and the energy. Besides just the crowd, is the energy and the excitement to see our student athletes play, and it's great. It's a great. If you're not go to the games, you just need to go and just enjoy what's being shown on the field, but also what the community's doing to make the field look good too.
Yeah, it's just, that, like I said, it's one of the beauties of high school athletics is it's a smaller community situation, and you get these parents and these neighbors and grandpas and grandmas that come out, and they're happy to be there together and happy to be there with their family members watching their cousin or their uncle or whoever it happens to be out there. And all of them, I've been to some volleyball games here in the gyms and whatnot, even inside in the gym. It's been a great atmosphere and great to see people together rooting for the kid and just getting out there together. And that's probably been the best thing about getting back to school. It's just those normal things that we get to do in large groups, because we haven't been in large groups for a very long time, except for concerts and things like that. So maybe those were shut down for a while. So to get out there together and to get there and to watch your neighborhood kids compete and battle and fight and win and lose and all the things that come with athletics, it's just been a joy to watch those kids through this season.
Well, I tell you, we talked about, I know it's in the back of your mind, but it's not important. It's you're rated number 3 in the state, and then you got the first, correct me if I'm wrong on anything, but the first 4 teams get a bye, and that's so critical to get a bye. And you've already talked about the importance of beating Manzano and beating Albuquerque High and having your team playing at a high level, and not read the press and say, hey, we're just going to show up and win the game. I mean, these teams are being prepared to, like you said earlier, always the favorites got somebody trying to knock them off. And with that being said, how important it is these 2 games to win these games, and destiny will be there. There'll be a lot of things happening if Cleveland and Rio Rancho game. I know your eyes will be on that game, but having that bye week at this time of the year, it
definitely helps out, because people don't often realize it takes as much luck to be successful as it does talent. Because you get one injury in one position or not, and that could really change the dynamic of your entire season. And so having a week off, being one of those top 4 seeds, gives you a chance to rest and get ready for just a battle for the next 3 weeks. And, if we do things right and we do things like we're supposed to, we got an opportunity to be a top 4 seed. And so we're looking at that. And, the way the NMAA seeds things now, it's kind of nice because everybody pretty knows who's going to go where. There's not really any guessing anymore. You look at the criteria that they put out, and you can kind of see where everybody kind of fits into place. There might be 1 or 2 seeds where you're just not sure, but for the most part, where everybody's kind of land. And the next 2 weeks will help determine that. But we are looking forward to a potential opportunity to be one of those top 4 teams and get that week of rest and get an opportunity to be as healthy as we can be as we go into the last 3 weeks of the season. But like I said, we got 2 hard teams we got to take care of first, and starting with Friday night against Monsanto and Coach Johnson's team. And I know that they're biting at the bit to get back out there. So it's going to be a battle for the next couple of weeks, and we'll just kind of see where the cards lay at the end of it.
I'll tell you what, Brandon, we're going to take a little break, and we're going to come back and talk more about Lake Haven football and also some teams around the state that you need to be watching out for.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I'm Terry Wilson, quarterback for your New Mexico Lobos. Growing up in Oklahoma City, my Boys and Girls Club was a safe place where I would go to play sports, practice important values like respect and integrity, and of course, always do my homework. Here in New Mexico, the Boys and Girls Club is having a huge impact on kids and teens every day after school. All you Lobo fans out there, support the Boys and Girls Club and help our young people learn and grow. Great futures start here.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We got Brandon back here, and I tell you, we got a lot of football left over the next. We got 2 weeks of the regular season. We got playoffs. We kind of talked about the playoffs, but one thing about the playoffs is not only do you get a bye, but you get a home game, and I think home field with the way the participation is something maybe very important. The sixth man may come into effect in a lot of these games in the playoffs.
Definitely, especially if you have to travel. So having a home field, an opportunity to play at your home stadium is really exciting. You know, I know we jokingly say that home field for APS schools because our home field is 20 minutes away from our high school, but we love playing at Wilson Stadium. We love being there and being able to watch our crowd be there. So to be there and to play a playoff game there is a big deal. After that, into the semis and the championship game, that depends on who owes who and who you're playing and when the last time the schools played and things like that. So, but to get an opportunity to play a playoff game at your home stadium is something that very few teams get that chance to do, and it would prevent us from having to travel, which is definitely an added layer into the playoffs if you don't have to travel. And so those are definitely things that you factor in as you're trying to figure out what seed you are and where you're sitting and what you have left, and to have that home field advantage definitely plays a role for sure in those games.
Well, you know, we talked about Rio Rancho and Cleveland, and they're 1-2. I think Cleveland's 1 and Rio Rancho's 2. 3 is La Cueva, and then 4 Centennial. Talk about Centennial a little bit. Another team that's under the radar a little bit. Ocampo, you can always never count him out. You know, he comes in prepared, and what an unbelievable victory he had last weekend.
Yeah, it's, you know, Centennial's a typical Southern team. You know, they're probably not getting a lot of buzz up here, but down south for sure, they're definitely the team that people are talking about. And they were able they were in a war, flat out war with Las Cruces last week, and they were able to march the ball down with under 2 minutes left, and then with like 9 seconds left, or maybe a little bit more, they threw this double reverse pass back to the quarterback and to win the game. And you know, Coach Ocampo, he's been in these situations before. I don't think there's very many coaches out there who are more detail oriented than Coach Ocampo. He's very, very concrete in his thinking and in his processing, He goes through the X's and O's in all 22 positions, and he knows exactly where people are supposed to be, and he gets his kids in the right spot. And they've been a battle. We've had to face him a couple times in the playoffs, and we've been down there for some non-district games, and it's always a war when you go down there. So if anybody's sleeping on Centennial, they're going to wind up on the wrong side of a victory. And they're kind of like us. They're very, very young. So I think they played Cleveland at the beginning of the season, and they're starting a lot of sophomores, if I'm not mistaken. And so it's a team that has grown up and matured, and they're a lot better than they were at the beginning of the year, and they continue to roll off victories. And so they got the same record that we do, and they got the great opportunity to finish as district champs. And so it's going to come down to a couple other criteria points on who gets the third or the fourth seed in that situation. But it's been they're a team that definitely has the weapons to do something special this year.
Well, I tell you, when you play, anytime you have to go on the road to go down to Las Cruces, and I'm not saying that, I say that more out of respect than saying it's a tough place. It's just a tough place to play, tough environment, and you better be ready to, if you have to go on the road to play anybody in Las Cruces, they come with a lot of energy, and they come well prepared. Let's talk a little bit about the 5th through 12, if we could, real quick, and that would be the teams that will be the higher seeds will be playing at home. Is that correct?
Yeah, the higher seed will get the home game in that first round. And right now, based on the criteria on what we were looking at, Cibola's got a good opportunity to be 5th. A lot of that's going to be determined by that Volcano Vista game. And Cruces is doing a good job of shoring up their spot for 6th, and El Dorado 7. 8, 9, 8 through 12, 9 through 12, it depends on a lot of these last 2 weeks on who could get to. One of the things that we're really not sure about, are they going to take 4 teams from each district, or are they going to take 5 from District 1 and 3 from our district? So those are things that still have to be determined for probably the 9, 10, 11, 12 seeds, those last 4 seeds. But, to make it to the playoffs is a big deal, and to get a home field advantage is a big deal, because a lot of those teams will have to travel in that first week. And so I know that a lot of those teams are fighting for these last 2 weeks to put themselves in a good position to finish 2nd or 3rd in their district, because that's going to have a big impact on who's going to play. But right now, the way things are looking, Rio Rancho and Cleveland are definitely the far and away 1 and 2 seed, and the rest of us are kind of fighting for positions after that. And so I think that Rio Rancho Cleveland game is going to be a big game. Cleveland always is prepared, and Rio Rancho is looking like the team to beat this year. So it's going to be a battle and a war, and we're kind of sad that we play on Friday night too. It'd be a great game to watch, but we got to take care of business in our own district. But I know those last 5 through 12 seeds, these last 2 weeks are going to play a big role in their ability to stay home and be prepared and get into a good spot in the playoffs as the rest of these districts kind of wind down.
A team that I really surprised a lot of people last week on my 50 game of the week. It was Volcano Vista and Cleveland. I tell you, Volcano Vista is another team under the radar. Speak to them. You talked to me earlier about it, but they have some speed on that team.
Volcano's got a lot of talent. If you drive around the neighborhoods out there, it's just houses after houses after houses. So they get a great opportunity to pull from a big pool of kids and whatnot. So when you're playing the numbers game like that, you get the chance to pull in some real size and speed. And number 2 and number 10 for them are just speedsters, man. And sometimes you don't see it on film as much, but when you get to see them in real life, you see how fast they are and how fast they can just flat out run by dudes. And they did that last week against a very tough Cleveland team. They were able to get vertical stretches and get into the position to win that game. And a big kudos to them going in there with their backup quarterback. And he was throwing the ball all over the place. Unfortunately, he ran into some unfortunate situations where the ball tipped off some receivers' hands and into Cleveland's hands, which probably gave them the advantage there. But man, that's a team that we would not be looking forward to playing, and it's a team that it's going to take a lot of preparation to figure out a way to stifle their speed, because they got speed in a couple different spots, and they're a dynamic team that can do something special.
Hey, Brandon, well, thanks for coming on, and good luck to you the rest of the year, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of the year.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us on. We appreciate it.